if you've been following along for any length of time, welcome back to the channel. With the majority of the work on the vegetable garden being done, I can actually turn my attention to another project that I've been super excited to get started, which is the building of a stone retaining wall. It's another thing that I've never done before, and I've decided to dry stack the wall, which means using the weight of the stones as opposed to mortar or another adhesive to keep everything together. I'm totally nerding out about this, as this is probably one of the oldest building techniques of mankind. As soon as we crawled out of the caves, we probably started stacking stones on top of each other. So I have done some reading about some of the basic principles on how to do it, but as mentioned, I'm not an expert. Please don't take this as a how-to or do what I'm doing. This is just me trying to figure things out as I go. With the exception of the stone that you just saw me unload off of the trailer, which was brought over by my father-in-law, all other stones will be sourced from our own property. Some of them are actually large enough to where I can't pick them up with the front loader of the tractor. So this old-timey book that I've been reading about stone walls recommends something that they call a stone boat, which is basically a wooden sled that you can use to pull stones as opposed to lifting them. So I have a bunch of scrap lumber that I'm using. The so-called rails or skis or whatever you want to call them are going to be made out of 2x6s with a bevel in the front to prevent the sled from digging into the ground. And 2x4s make the, if you will, platform. The first and the last crossbar 2x4 are connected to the rails with a carriage bolt. The carriage bolt is installed with the head down, which once again I hope improves my ability to be able to slide the sled along without catching or digging into the ground. Originally I thought I was going to leave some gaps between the 2x4s, but eventually I decided to just make some more cuts and just wedge them all in for one continuous platform. I also have a rail supporting them on the underside in the middle to prevent them from breaking under the weight of some of the really large stones. All of the 2x4s, other than the first and last one, are connected to the rails with nails that I've been gifted. So if you're watching this, Jim, thanks for the nails. On each rail, I thread another carriage bolt through the length of chain that I have, and the idea is to now hook this up to the tractor somehow, maybe to the 3-point hitch, in order to drag it along. And through pure luck, the chain has just the right length so that I can hook it on the ball hitch of the tractor and drag it along, with the front of it being slightly lifted up, which should be perfect. Once again, Chris is helping me, and we've selected this huge boulder to be the first stone and the cornerstone of the wall because it has a natural corner almost perpendicular to each other, and in addition a flat top, which really makes it perfect. In all honesty, I am shocked how well this stone boat is working. Rolling it off the stone boat almost turns into an absolute disaster, as the stone barely stops short of rolling into the shed and probably inflicting some major damage. Since that worked so surprisingly well, we're going to grab another one. We dig a custom hole with the intention of having the flat top of the stone actually be level, and after much deliberation, bring in some gravel. We discuss whether it's going to actually improve drainage or be necessary, and in the end decide it's certainly not going to hurt anything, so let's just do it. By the way, in this shot you can see how tall the stone wall will have to be, as it will have to match the drop in the roof line. And here's an absolute ridiculous attempt to just muscle this thing. The camera actually ran out of battery, so there's no footage of the final placement of those stones, but Chris helps me put the first 3 big boulders down as we decide to use some of our biggest stones for the bottom course of the wall. I'm really happy with the start of this, so thank you for watching and stay tuned to see this thing being completed.